Hello viewers, myself Dr. Kishorai Roy, and you will find that I keep posting certain interesting videos on my YouTube channel from time to time related to Satyajit Ray. One thing is worth admiring about this great cinema personality from Bengal is that uh, his movies, the content of his movies, have stayed relevant for years, for decades, and this shows the greatness of the man, the way he projected his cinema. Uh, you will find that most of his movies are still very much relevant. They feel very contemporary even in today's world. Today in this particular video I am going to talk about a particular event that was portrayed in some of Ray movies, and that was the scene of a job interview. What happens in a job interview? Uh, Today in this particular video I am going to speak about the job interview, which happens to be an iconic scene from an iconic movie called Pratidwandi, and the protagonist over here is being played by the by Dhritiman Chatterjee. Also over here I will like to mention before I play the video that we have seen a similar kind of a job interview taking place in one of Ray's subsequent movie, which was Jono Aronno, and both these movies happen to be a part of the Kolkata trilogy. So let me first play the video, and then I will speak further about its relevance even in today's context.
How old are you?
I'm just over 25, sir.
You are a BSc?
Yes, sir.
When did you graduate?
1966.
And you've been idle ever since?
No, sir, I was at the medical college for 2 years.
What were you doing there?
Studying, sir.
Only for 2 years?
Yes, sir.
What made you give up medicine? Did you suddenly lose interest in medicine?
No, sir, I lost my father.
I see.
What's your aim in life?
Right now, it's to find a job, sir.
But the job you've applied for has nothing to do with medicine.
No, sir, but I also did botany for my science degree.
Do you like France?
Not unconditionally. Some I like, some I don't.
Does the term mitochondria suggest anything to you?
It's a botanical term, sir. Mitochondria are small, thread-like bodies in cytoplasm.
Who was the Prime Minister of England at the time of independence?
Whose independence, sir?
Our independence.
Thank you.
What would you regard as the most outstanding and significant event of the last decade?
The war in Vietnam, sir.
More significant than the landing on the moon?
I think so, sir.
Could you tell us why you think so?
Because the moon landing, you see, we weren't entirely unprepared for the moon landing. We knew it had to come sometime. We knew about the space flights, the great advances in space technology. So we knew it had to happen. I'm not saying it wasn't a remarkable achievement, but it wasn't unpredictable. The fact that they did land on the moon.
Do you think the war in Vietnam was unpredictable?
Not the war itself, but what it has revealed about the Vietnamese people. about their extraordinary power of resistance. Ordinary people, peasants, and no one knew they had it in them. I mean, this isn't a matter of technology, it's just plain human courage. And it takes your breath away.
Are you a communist?
I don't think one has to be one in order to admire Vietnam, sir.
That doesn't answer my question. However, you may go now.
Okay, so I do not need to elaborate on the content of the movie. I will now be speaking about how relevant it is even today, and how we find that when an interviewee is approaching a job in any particular firm, still we find the attitude of the interviewers is pretty much the same. Uh, they may ask you some questions from your area, and when you answer those questions correctly, they will be putting you in a spot of bother with questions that has hardly any sort of relevance, anything to do with the job that you have applied. You will find in most places, even today, the interviewer starts asking you some either unpalatable questions or uncomfortable questions related to your career, related to the study that you have done, related to where you have worked, your previous work experience, and things like that. This thing is pretty much unacceptable, so to say, because when you are calling someone for the interview, and if you really find that this person is suitable based on his or her resume and the interaction that you have with the person, based on the communication skill of the person, if you find that that person is apt, why the hell should you be so much worried and you try to put that person in a spot of bother for those petty little some lacunae that one has in one's career due to definitely some genuine reasons. Over here we find that the interviewers are too much concerned when this interviewee speaks about Vietnam War being one of the greatest event from the past decade, and when he puts up a very very formidable point across the table that why he feels so, they finally say that you may go now. So you see that mainly the interviewing panel, even today in most places, they feel someone, they find happiness when someone gets victimized or someone bows their head down. But instead, if someone is having the right tools and techniques to offer some answers to the questions being posed, and one is able to show that one possesses the mind at the right place and the correct amount of gray matter, that often becomes unacceptable, because this panel of interviewers often feel that interviewee to be a threat to their own existence. This is a very very hard reality. And we find, as I begin this particular video, I mentioned about certain elements from Ray movies that have stood the test of time. This small little scene, this small little content clearly proves once again that Ray films have an evergreen relevance. They are even very very contemporary in today's times after so many years have gone by once these movies were released. Friends, I hope that I have been able to put my a very small but a very genuine point across through this particular movie scene and through what I deliberated on. Please share your comments, please share your thoughts on this particular video. Thank you.